If you open YouTube or TikTok right now, you can find thousands of videos showing molten glass gracefully twisting and expanding in the dark. Millions of people watch these clips in silence. The slow-motion shaping of a glowing orange bubble feels hypnotic and incredibly relaxing. But the origin of this craft is a stark contrast to the peaceful videos on your feed. Before modern safety regulations, the 19th century American factory floor was a deafening, hazardous environment filled with smoke, dust, and radiant heat reaching thousands of degrees. During this period, the United States was expanding rapidly. Cities were growing, and every new home, church, and storefront required massive quantities of architectural and vessel glass. Before electricity and automation, the only way to manufacture these products was through the sheer physical force of human lungs. The scale of this manual production was immense. In the early 1800s, cheap, abundant natural gas in the Midwest provided near unlimited fuel for these operations. West Virginia alone supported more than 400 individual glass factories, exporting materials around the globe. The meditative art that millions watch to unwind today was born from extreme human physical sacrifice and ruthless industrial ambition. Historical glass mixed three ingredients, silica sand, soda ash, and lime. By replacing calcium with lead oxide, manufacturers created premium crystal. This dropped working temperatures while massively spiking density and the refractive index, giving crystal its brilliant sparkling effect. However, this specific chemical makeup hides a permanent hazard. When you store acidic liquids like wine, citrus juice, or brandy in an old crystal decanter, the acid slowly leaches that lead oxide out of the glass and directly into your drink. The chemical addition that made 19th century crystal heavy, brilliant, and easy for artisans to sculpt also turned it into a toxic household object persisting today. Inside the factory, creating these pieces required intense coordination. Workers operated in a five-man team called a shop, built entirely around a massive furnace opening known as the glory hole. The glory hole was a specialized reheating chamber, radiating temperatures up to 2200 degrees Fahrenheit, keeping the glass soft enough to shape during production. The shop operated on a strict hierarchy. A master artisan called the Gaffer led the team, while supporting roles like the gatherer pulled the right amount of molten glass from the furnace. They passed heavy, glowing materials between each other in rapid succession. A single misstep could ruin an entire day's production, or severely burn anyone nearby. At the very bottom of this hierarchy were the carrion boys. These were children usually between 8 and 12 years old, tasked with taking the finished, blistering hot glass from the blowers and running it across the factory floor to the cooling ovens. Factory owners fiercely defended using children for this dangerous work because of a strict economic incentive. The highly paid adult blowers only earned money based on the volume of pieces they completed. Their wages were tied entirely to how fast the carrion boys could sprint across the floor and return for the next piece. The physical toll was severe. These young boys covered miles on foot during a single shift, enduring constant temperature shocks as they moved from the 2200-degree furnace out into the freezing night air, leading to high rates of pneumonia. To force themselves to stay awake during overnight shifts after attending school all day, labor investigators documented the children chewing raw tobacco. The legendary speed and volume of the American glass boom was literally subsidized by the systemic physical exploitation of young children. Beyond household items, the booming cities required architectural glass. In the 1800s, this meant turning a round, inflated bubble of glass into a perfectly flat window pane. The solution was the cylinder method. A worker would gather a massive amount of molten glass, inflate it, and then forcefully swing the heavy blowpipe in a long arc over a pit dug into the floor. Using sheer centrifugal force and immense core strength, they elongated the bubble into a hollow cylinder up to 6 feet long. This graphic illustrates the delicate flattening phase that followed. After the ends were cut off, a worker scored a straight line down the cooled cylinder. It was then placed into a flattening kiln where heat caused the glass to soften and unfurl along the score line, allowing workers to iron it into a smooth, flat sheet with wooden paddles. Every single window in every American house, school, and factory built before the 1920s was flattened from a cylinder blown by a human being. The architectural expansion of the 19th century United States eventually hit a physical limit. Production was constrained by the absolute physical endurance of human lung capacity and core strength. In 1903, an inventor named Michael J. Owens patented the machine that would replace those lungs. The Owens automatic bottle machine was the first fully mechanical glass blowing device, capable of industrial speed production. A single Owens machine could produce more glass in 1 hour than an entire 5-man shop could make in a full day. Because of this speed, the invention rendered tens of thousands of highly skilled jobs obsolete almost overnight. Industrial mechanization efficiently removed human hands from the mass-market factory floor, but the craft itself survived. Displaced artisans transitioned their skills into the studio art movement, and institutions like the Corning Museum of Glass kept the techniques alive through public education and live demonstrations. That specific educational push paved the way for the viral videos we see today. When modern audiences watch a TikTok of a glassblower pulling a glowing gather from a furnace, they are looking at the exact same physical motions perfected by 19th century immigrant workers. Every time we tap an antique crystal glass or watch a viral glass video, we are connecting with the ghosts of a brutal, lung-powered human machine that quite literally built the modern American landscape.